Are you currently applying to law school this year with the hopes of starting law school next year in 2025? I'm going to share with you the ideal timeline to help you successfully submit your application and ace this year's admission cycle. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Ndidi Amadi. I am your friendly law school expert next door. I talk about all things law school. Also, subscribe to get tips, advice, and suggestions on your law school journey. So it's September. We're starting to feel a little chill in the air. Perhaps Gilmore Girls is in the background. You have your tea going. We're getting into fall seasons. And what does fall season mean? Law school applications. Most law school applications are actually open now. So perhaps you spent your summer vacationing on the beach, as did I, or perhaps you spent your summer studying for the LSAT. If you did take the LSAT and you're happy and satisfied with your score, you're right on track. If you are currently applying for this admission cycle and you haven't taken the LSAT, time is of the essence. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And actually, I'm going to talk about submitting your applications early. So if you are submitting your applications earlier on time, there really is only one more time to take the LSAT for this year. And the last time that LSAC is offering the LSAT this year is November, and registration is actually at the end of this month, at the end of September. So if you are wanting to get your applications in on time or early, and you still haven't taken the LSAT, or you've taken the LSAT and you need to take it again because you're not satisfied with your score, there really is only one more time to take it this year, and that is November. Of course, you can take the LSAT in January and other months, but that means your application will be not complete until next year. So if you're taking the LSAT, registered like today. So the next thing that you're going to want to do right now is begin working on your essays if you haven't done so already. In a previous video, I talked about making sure that you research the schools because some schools will have different requirements about essays. And the example that I gave is that in addition to the required personal statement, the school Yale has a 250-word essay. And even though it's just 250 words, it's still an additional essay that is a requirement. So between September and let's say October, you really should be solidifying your essays. And it's not just you working on your essays, you want to have somebody else review them, and you want to be courteous of those who are reviewing the essay. So you don't want to say, oh, my application, I'm trying to get it in November 15th. Today's November 7th. Can you review my essay? You want to give your reviewers time, because if you give them time, they can give you a better review, and it only helps them feel like their time is respected, and it helps you because you have a better essay. So you're going to want to work primarily in September on your essays. Try to have all of that done by October. If you're just doing the personal statement, then that's the only essay. But if you're doing a diversity statement, you have that to work on. If you're writing an addendum, which shouldn't be like a full essay, you can work on that. And then also look at the schools if they have additional required essays. So September, if you are applying, if you want to get your application in this fall, September, October really should be LSAT and essays. Like LSAT essays, LSAT essays. Okay, still in September, because September is getting really, really heavy right now, but the month has just started, so we still have a lot of time to do stuff. You're also going to need to get letters of recommendation. And most schools on average will allow between 2 to 4 letters of recommendation. You definitely want to do your research and check back on that, but you should be fine. You should be sufficient with 2 or 3. I would say aim for 3, but just make sure that the letters of recommendation are bringing new information. So say you're KJD, kindergarten to Juris Doctor, which is the degree for law school, and all your letters of recommenders are faculty members. They shouldn't be saying the same thing. Perhaps you can have a letter of recommendation from an English professor and they can talk about your great writing skills. And then perhaps another faculty member could talk about, well, they're really good at researching. And then another faculty member can talk about, they are great in class, they add to the class discussions, their participation is there, all of that is great. I've never seen a scholar like this. But what I'm saying is that all your recommenders shouldn't say, they're a great writer, they're a great writer. That gets boring. So if you're gonna have 3 letters of recommendation, they should be each adding to your application. It should be new information. Also in September, we're in September now, what you can do today, right now, which is not going to take any time, is create your LSAT account and register and pay for CAS, because the way that your recommenders are going to get the information is through CAS, the Credential Assembly Service. And I talked about that in a prior video. So if you want to go back and watch that, that would be a good refresher. But in September, you're really going to want to start getting your letters of recommendation in September, October. Again, we don't want to put pressure on the people who are helping us, helping you reach your goals. So you want to do this as soon as possible. But the good news is the month just started. We have plenty of days to get this started. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm looking at the law school that I'm applying to and it's saying their deadline is March 15th. Why are you talking about getting all this stuff done in September, October, whatever the case may be? Why are you telling me this? I'm just going to submit my application by the deadline. Don't want to do that. And here's why. A lot of the law schools have rolling admissions. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the law school's application for 2025 to start school in August 2025 is already open now as of September 1st. So as it's open now, you have these eager beavers and people who are already applying. September, they're getting in, they're already applying. And say the schools see these stellar applicants and they're gonna say, well, let me use a bigger law school. We have 500 open seats for our 1L, our first year class. And I'm seeing these applications coming in, I'm gonna accept them because they're phenomenal. Rolling admissions, the admissions are rolling on in and they're accepting people. And as they're accepting people, seats are becoming more and more limited. But if you wait till March 15th or whatever the deadline is, you might not get accepted, or you might get waitlisted, or you might not get financial aid. Those are all situations that you don't want, especially if you have a strong application. You want to give yourself the best chance of one, getting admitted and getting financial aid. I mean, again, this is merit-based aid or need-based aid. You don't have to be poor or broke or lacking resources to qualify for aid. And if you're getting aid, why not? Just take it. So this is the reason why I am wanting you to apply early. And by applying early, that would be by Thanksgiving. If it's not by Thanksgiving, at least by the end of the year. And then I would consider applying late January, February, March. You can do it, but I have worked with students in the past who had great GPAs, great LSAT scores. They applied so late that they didn't get in, or they didn't get into the school that they wanted, or they were waitlisted, and it didn't have to be that way had they applied early. So applying early is key, and I'm going to talk about another key on top of applying early. All right, so September, October, November have passed. You know what to do. You've submitted your application perhaps by Thanksgiving. Now you can rest, you can enjoy your turkey, your apple pie, whatever the case may be. So the next time frame I'm going to talk about is December to January. So your applications are submitted, and now you are just waiting for your applications to yield a great result. And so during this time, you might have interviews. Some law schools will actually have students interview. And this is a good sign. This means that the law school wants to know more about you. You're still in the game, they're interested, and that's something additional that you need to prepare for. And between December and January, you actually might start to get some acceptances, especially if you applied earlier on in the admission cycle. Okay, so between February to May, this is when a lot of students are going to start to hear back from their applications, whether they've been admitted, yay, whether they've been rejected, nay, or whether they are on the waiting list. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. But you're going to start to hear back between February to May. So this is like the really exciting time. Also, this is the time where application windows, the deadlines are closed. Many schools have it around March or April. So if you are going to apply in the spring, this is when you're going to finally submit all your applications by the deadline. This is also a great time, especially now that it's spring, the weather is better, to visit schools, especially if you're local, to visit the law schools, see what it's actually like, the campus, or perhaps begin to look at apartments or what your life might look like. Some schools' admission offices are really, really great in letting people come in for tours, and even letting some students sit in on a class. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but it's worth the ask so you can actually see what a law school class is like even before you get there. Through May, this is also the time where you're going to be getting your financial aid offers. Perhaps you got scholarships. Let's hope you get scholarships. And you're looking at the different schools who offered you different things. I remember years ago when I was going through my process, I was like, okay, well, this school is ranked higher, but this school's giving me more money. This school's in a smaller state, which is more cheaper, but I'd rather be here. So this is the time frame where you're going to be making decisions on like cost versus benefit analysis and really having to go through all of that. May is like a really, really exciting time. All the offers are coming in. You're thinking about financial aid, you're thinking about visiting and all of that. It's also the time, primarily May, when you're going to put down your seat deposit to reserve your seat for law school. I mean, the full tuition is not due yet, but you are going to put down a little deposit, you know, put some skin in the game saying, I'm coming, you know, you like me, I like you, I'll be there. And if you're waitlisted, it is a different process, and I'll probably talk about that at a different time. There are two terms that I want to talk about that come up when it comes to admissions and admission cycles, and that's early decision and rolling admission. So with early decision, it is a binding agreement that if you apply earlier than the average applicant, that if they accept you, you are binding yourself to that school, and then you are withdrawing your other applications. For some people, they might like this because then, phew, the hard work is done, and especially if it's their dream school and they don't have to worry about it, it's done, they can enjoy their senior year, their holidays, or whatever the case may be. For others, they like to leave the field wide open. They like to know what offers will come in. They like to know what different scholarships they can get. So it might be a con, early decision might be a con if you like things a little bit more open. But if you know that this is the school you want to do, you're decided, you want to apply early, you want to get it done, you can meet the deadline of the early decision of that school, then go right ahead. And the second term is rolling admissions, which I spoke about previously earlier. And this is just that the school is going to consider the applications as they come in. It's rolling on in. As I mentioned before, it is to your advantage if you are applying to law school early. However, I want to say this, your law school application should not be rushed. Your law school application should be complete. You should be able to put your best foot forward. You shouldn't just feel like, well, everybody else is applying right now this year to start August 2025, so I need to apply this year to start 2025. That's not the case. I know I'm pushing apply early because I want you to have the best result. But if you are feeling like your LSAT scores are not the strongest, you didn't have enough time to write the best personal statement that you can do, you want to work more, you want to bolster up your application, you're just not there yet, then I would say hold off on the application. If you don't have everything ready, if you're feeling a bit of anxiety, if it's like, I don't think I can get this done and done well, it's okay to take a gap year. It's okay to take a pause. I would much rather have you take a year, really spend time to study for the LSAT, because people can spend anywhere from 6 to 9 months studying for the LSAT to get that highest score, because the LSAT's really important. I'd rather have you spend time going over your essays, making sure it's the best representation of you, and doing that a year later than rushing it just to try to get everything done by the end of the year, or even applying in spring a little bit too late and not getting into your dream school. Because law school, you want to enjoy the process. The process can be enjoyable. It really can. You can enjoy the journey. Life is about the journey instead of just rushing on through. So enjoying the journey of visiting schools, enjoying the journey of getting scholarships coming in, enjoying the journey of feeling wanted and courted, or like, oh, this school wants me to come, or this school wants me to come. I want you to have all of that. That was one of the most exciting parts of my journey, just getting scholarships. I didn't even think that I was gonna get in. And then I got scholarships from different schools in different regions, and just the buzz of all of that, of being courted for a dream that you perhaps have wanted for a long time. And I'd rather have you wait a year, take a gap years to get the fullness of all that is, as opposed to just rushing. But if your application's on track And if you know that you need to start law school by August 2025, then I hope this timeline has helped you. And I hope that even if you haven't started, that you'll start today, because like I said before, the last time to take the LSAT this year is November, that you'll register and prepare for it. If you're a really good test taker, take a course, take an LSAT prep course. I don't think people should self-study for that. I don't care if you're a genius or whatever, Mike Ross from Suits, get a prep course for that. And then just go forward. You can get it done. If that's really your goal, you can get it done, but just make sure that you put your best foot forward and make sure that you have the strongest application that you can muster up. I hope this time frame, this timeline has helped you. If you are not applying this year, you can still take this same timeline and just change it, edit it to the year. So say you want to start law school in 2026, then you'll take everything I said and do that in 2025, except you're gonna take the LSAT a little bit sooner. So I hope this information has helped you. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you until next time. Ciao.